When you're self conscious, it's more about how people treat you. When you're self aware, it's more about how you treat people. It is so easy for us as humans to neglect ourselves, and in return, we neglect others. To counteract that, we have to understand us. We have to evaluate us, how the way we're feeling, where we are, where have we been, okay? Um, that song, How Did You Get Here? When I turn around and you're standing here. Like, where are these people come from? How do they get access to you? What have you allowed? And it's hard to sit with the wrongings that we have done to ourselves and to others. It's hard for us to sit with and accept and hold ourselves responsible for. We actually we actually can be and have been, probably still is, the victim of, the villain of somebody's story. And if you no longer desire to be a villain in general, right? We have to understand what we have done and the bridges that we have burned, and there's no rebuilding. And then there are some bridges that we can, have not burned down, that we can restore, but it starts with us. If you're not a good carpenter, if you're not a good contractor, you will not know what cracks need to be sealed and what to use, and um, what structure like you won't know any of that, because it all starts with you. Because your eye, how the way you see the world, literally affects how the way you show up. And if you think everybody's out here to get you, you gonna have your guard up, and you are going to have a hard time taking correction from people who actually want to see you grow. Not for them, but mainly for you. And they'll reap the benefits from your overflow. That is being more aware, right, of how the way you receive information, and how the way you reject information, and how the way you give information, and how you interpret people receiving your information. I have a tendency of wanting people to accept myself now. That's that instant gratification that I struggle with. And I remember talking to a mama, and she said, "You never asked me. You never asked me before you went running your mouth. You never asked me." And I said, "You know what? You're absolutely right. I didn't ask you." And I apologize, because I was absolutely wrong. Because I have to understand that just because the things that I see and I have good intent, it doesn't mean that what I did, how the way I talked to her, was wrong, was not wrong. It was still wrong. Because if she received it not as in her flesh is dying, but her spirit was erupted because of my demeanor, because of my expectations that she didn't sign up for, she didn't ask for. And in sisterhood, we struggle with this because we don't have it within ourselves. We don't have the patience and the grace in ourselves, and we fail to give it to our sister, our children, our spouse, our mother, our brother, at work, our coworker, and so on and so forth. I just recently had posted on my thread, um, that, did you know the grace and mercy that you have limits the grace and mercy that you have on your children? It's exactly the same, because if you don't have it, you don't have nothing to give, baby. And so, Emma Laurent today, I hope you ask yourself, do I go through my mind about how people have wronged me? Or do I go through my mind about how I wrong myself? and how I wrong other people and how I have allowed myself to be wrong due to the information that I had or the lack of information that I had. And how can I get that information? There's so much stuff available for you through books, therapists, getting counsel, um, and counseling, coaching. There's life coaches now. I even started doing a free 1 hour coaching to be able to help you evaluate with that. It's because I want more and more mothers to be more self aware, be able to see you and see others. That way, your wisdom and your discernment increases.